What's up, guys? Welcome to an edition of Market Marauders. Beating the market, one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders, the investment channel helps you find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, like, comment, and share. Now, today I'll be giving you my weekly options pick for the week. So, this is just all educational information, so just bear that in mind. You should always do your own due diligence when it comes to picking stocks. I'm not a licensed professional, so I'm not telling you what stocks to pick. I'm just telling you what stocks that I'll be picking. So, further ado, let's jump into it. So, if you looked at my old videos, I was using just Robinhood for options, but now I'm using Robinhood as well as Weibo. I have a Weibo account. If you want to sign up for Robinhood or if you want to sign up for Weibo, I have links down below for both of them. So click on those links and then you can join either one of those platforms. Now today's video I'll be giving you perspective from both platforms, so just bear that in mind to help both people, the Robinhood users as well as the Webull users, on how to actually do options trading. So if we jump into the first one for the week, I have ticker sign GILD for Gilead Sciences. Moving average 50 is 75.43. Moving average 200 is 75.18. Those are represented by these two yellow lines, and they ended the week at 77.83. So there's been a lot of action going on with this company, and a lot of pressing things. So that's why I picked them. But for the options side, I like to give some more background information as what the company is actually doing. So let's jump into that. So looking at Gilead Sciences, we can see that they have a lot of things going on. One of the major things is that on May the 7th, it says Gilead announces approval of Veklury or Veklury, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, in Japan to help with patients who are dealing with the whole pandemic situation. So I think that's a pretty big, update. Also, going up to the top, we have more recent ones. It says investigational magroleum in combination with, however you pronounce that, demonstrates durable activity. I'm not a medical professional, so definitely would be butchering some of these. But basically, they have a lot of different new drugs coming out that are helping with cancer research. So I think those are going to yield the company to be more profitable, and they seem to really have a lot of research as far as helping with cancer and also with the whole pandemic situation. So that's why I picked them. I think the momentum of the company with these current releases, these both came out on the 29th, as well as this one that came out on the 27th, I think will yield the company to be a lot more profitable in the near future as well as in the distant future. Now, going to analysis, first I'm going to do for my Webull, and then I'm going to do for Robinhood. So for the Webull one, I'm just going to go to my second tab. So this is my options tab. What I have so far is for the 21st of August, so that's going to be this one right here. So if you all are new to options trading on Webull, you actually do have to sign up and get approved, as well as on Robinhood. You have to sign up to get approved as well, and then when your account is approved, then you'll have access to options on both platforms. So just bear that in mind when you're doing options trading or when you download the app. You won't immediately get access to options. You have to fill out a form for both platforms in order to trade options. But the gist of options on here, let me scroll down. This middle line is the line that the current price is. So 73.83 is where the stock ended for the week. And when the market's open, this price will go up and down. It'll fluctuate. On here is volume, so it tells you the amount of people who are actually holding this option. So that's something that I think Weibo definitely has an advantage over Robinhood as far as options is concerned, because this information is definitely not easily accessible when it comes to doing options for Robinhood. So, if you all have used both platforms, you all will know that that information is like super difficult to find. So, I think that's very helpful because it helps you to know, how many people are using it, and if you may want to get one that a lot of people are buying, or you may want to get one that a lot of people are selling. But volume will help in both those situations. So, going with that in mind, the top part of this, uh, we can see the actual volume of that that's went over earlier, and then there's the bottom portion of that as well. So the way that Webull works is they have the call and the sell on both sides. I mean, in the buy on both sides. So if you want to do a call, it has the buy, which will be this section for the bid, and the sell, if you want to sell the call, it'll be this section right here. It's a little different from the way Robinhood actually works. Um, Robinhood actually has a separate section. I can just go over that right here. You have to press this actual button, and then you access a different section of Robinhood. So it actually changes on there. On here, on the Webull side, it actually tells you all the information. So, it has the sell and the buy of the puts. Basically, all the information is laid out here instead of laid out over there. But it also tells you volume of both. So there's way more information on the Robinhood, I mean on the Webull side opposed to the Robinhood side. So just bear that in mind if you're trying to, decide which platform you want to use. There's definitely way more information. But if you're new to trading, I definitely think that, the whole Robinhood one is easier to understand. With that being said, I think strike price between $80 and $90 for Gilead Sciences is probably a good call. August 21st, I think, is a good time for that call to actually go through, and you'd be able to get gains from that. You'll be looking to pay between $163 to $418 for those strike prices. And I don't know, I haven't looked on here. I should have, to see if the price is the same. So let's see, strike price $90. Okay, yeah. So strike price $90 to $80. So you buy a car, looks to be between 150 and 380 on this side. So maybe a little cheaper on the actual Webull side, but easier to understand on the uh, side for Robinhood. So, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. You could download both and figure them out. For me, what I did is I started off with the Robinhood one, and then I switched to Webull, but I like both, so I still use both. So, to each his own. Now, going into my second one, um, we have, let's go back to that tab. We have ticker sign CPB, and that's for Campbell Soup Company. Moving average 50 is 50.36. Moving average 200 is 49.34. And they ended the week at 50.98. So they're above their moving average 50 and their moving average 200, which is always a good sign. One thing I also like about Weibo over Robinhood is their charts are fantastic. They basically show a lot more information, a lot more detail. You get a lot more information as far as volume is concerned. This right here tells you about volume. So volume to me is very important, especially when trying to exercise a trade because it lets you know how many people are actually trading the stock instead of just actually looking. And you can, if you want to do some pattern trading uh, and some pattern setups, it also helps with that as well. So you know, their charts to me are a lot better, but as far as doing these options, um, either one. So type in CPB. And then I have a strike price of July 2nd. So let's go to that. Okay, so excuse me. So on here, I think a price between 53 to 55 would be a good strike price. So that's right here. You'll be looking to pay between 78 to $130 for that call. Now, if you're new to options completely, a call is basically a contract to buy 100 shares of a company. I mean, 100 shares at a certain price. So the price would be this price right here. And you got to bear in mind that when you see this, it's not $1.30. It is $130 because it's uh, an agreement to buy a contract of 100 shares at that 130 price. Strike price for a call. Buying calls and buying puts are mainly what I do. I don't sell calls or sell puts, but buying calls and buying puts, if you buy a call, it basically means that you believe that the stock is bullish and you believe that it's going to run up and it's going to go up and above a certain strike price, which is this price on the left. Buying a put means you believe that it's going to go down below a certain price. Down and below the certain strike price that you choose. So by saying I'm going to buy this call between 50, was it 53 and 55, that means I believe the stock has potential by the 2nd of July to get above $53 or $55 or somewhere in between. Now looking at it on here, this basically tells you the exact same information as the other one. And for the actual option on here, let's see if I could find the $55 one. And there is no $55 one. So the lowest one on here is actually 50, goes to 52. So there's no option for the 53 to 55. So if you can't find the price you want on one, just look for on the other one. That'll just be my opinion. Jumping into the third one, we got ticker sign ZM, and that's for Zoom video. Moving average 50 is 173.99. Moving average 200 is 167.24. They ended the week at 179.48. So going into some background information on them, uh, we can see that they actually have a earnings coming up. Their earnings is going to be on Tuesday, the 2nd. So, if you want to tune into that, you just Google press releases for Zoom video, and then they have a link right here where you can actually go replay it or listen to it live. You can also, send in some questions to press at zoom.us. and get your questions asked. These are always good, because sometimes investors ask questions or they have a Q&A session, and you learn a lot more information from the company and how they operate when they ask those questions. So it's better than just reading the press release. You can actually get the information directly from the source, and there are a lot of things that are answered that aren't put on the press release. Going back to some information from CPB that I overlooked. They actually have earnings coming up too as well. That's going to be on the 3rd, so that's going to be next week. The same deal with that one. They have a section to call in, and they also have the investor relations tab as well. So going back to that one, I still skipped over that. So they have that as well. So I think for me, a put would be the best option. And maybe saying, well, the company's doing really well and it's going up. Why would you have a put? Especially, have one coming right after the earnings. I think the company is overvalued at this point. I think that, the whole Roni situation, the whole pandemic situation, yielded them to be a lot more profitable than what they were for last quarter. But I don't think that is going to carry on to future quarters. As Facebook and Teams and Google, has all come to the forefront and offered free versions of basically what Zoom does. I don't think that Zoom has. Um, you know, the hold of the market. So I think, it's kind of oversaturated at this point in time. And I think people are just going to go with those other options that they're more familiar with. So with that being said, I think, a put for me is going to be the best option. And that's going to be between 160 to 150. So on here, it's between $645 to $990. Now jumping into Weibo, type in the ticker, and then we're actually going to be looking on this side, the right hand side, for the puts. So we'll be looking for 160 to 155. So that's going to be going the wrong way. $160 to $155. So that's this interval right here. And then we're going to be looking for buying the call, buying the put. It doesn't have a value on there because no one is currently selling the put. No one is currently buying the put. So you can't buy the put. But it has it on here as the ask for the sale. So you can sell this put. And when you click on it, it'll activate this sell section on here. So initially, basically what you'll be doing is selling the put. So yeah, that's on the right hand side, but there are no current buys on here. If we go to the section for Robinhood, we do have the put buy options on here. So I would go with the buy for Robinhood over the Webull section. So there's advantages to having both, just like this situation. Now going to my last one, we have switching back to my charts. We have ticker sign DKNG, and that is for DraftKings Incorporated. They have been on a breakout basically ever since their IPO, which was earlier this year. And their moving average 50 is 38.37. Moving average 200 is 37.37. They ended the week at 39.70. So there's a lot of momentum around this company. A lot of things going on with them. They're making some huge moves as a company, and I think it's just going to make them even more profitable. Jumping into some information for them, this just came out yesterday. So it says DraftKings Sports expands partnership with Sport Trader to launch mobile live streaming. So basically, if you haven't used DraftKings is like, I wouldn't say gambling, but you kind of like, bet on games. They have like different brackets for, you know, kind of the whole fantasy football, fantasy baseball, sort of thing. But you can actually get money for doing it. So, I think this is kind of the perfect time for a company like this to be set up, especially if they're just, starting to do live games, which is just going to help people, be more engaged when actually using their platform. So I think it's a great plan for the company moving forward. I actually don't think that this is priced in since this is, very recent. And I think, especially a lot of young investors that I've seen, a lot of people talk about DraftKings and how much it's going to go up and how good it's doing. So I think, something like this is going to help the company definitely rally more, um, even more than they currently have been. So for me, I think a call is probably going to be the best option. And I have it on here as August 21st, but really, I think between November will probably be the best one. And the reason I'm changing it from August to November is because in November we should have the NBA as well as the NFL, or either or the NBA or the NFL should be back playing by that time. So there will actually be an active sports being played, fingers crossed, which will definitely drive this stock to go up way more that um, their actual sports being played. Now, it's kind of a lull and they're kind of, setting up the puzzle pieces. So when sports start back, they'll already be in a great position to do that. So I think, a call between 45 to $55, in my opinion, strike price wise, would be the best option, looking at 550 to $810. Now jumping into the Weibo side, going back to my tab for options, type in DKNG, and then right here it stops at 50.53. So I don't see any buys on here. Um, the only buys that I see on here are all in the money options. So, you know, there are no out of the money option buys on here, which are basically meaning, it hasn't gotten to this price yet, but there are a bunch of in the money options. So, you know, to each his own on that one. To me, the Robinhood one would be the better one. To go actually lock in that price. But you know, you could always it changes all the time. So this is just when the market is closed. When the market opens up, this is all going to change. It's going to be live. And these prices are going to fluctuate and change. But right now, it just has it a zero. So, you know, when the market opens, just bear in mind that that's going to change, as well as this is going to change. The price is going to change because it could open up on Monday and this could just shoot up to $50, and then this will be the only one available until somebody else has another one that comes out. So just bear that in mind. Drop a like down below if this video helped you. Um, Make sure you smash the subscribe button. If you want to sign up for Robinhood or if you want to sign up for Webull, I have that link down below. Uh, and tell me what stocks you guys are looking at for the week. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.